Welcome to the Digital Brand Builder Podcast, where we bring you the best growth strategies from the world's experts to help build your business fast. And now, here's your host, Mark Fidelman.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Digital Brand Builder Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, obviously, because I've got a podcast. I've got a couple, actually, and a couple more in the works. But that's a subject for the future. So we're going to talk about, okay, you've got a podcast. How do you do influencer marketing on podcasts? How do you find brand ambassadors? How do you advertise on podcasts to reach your target audience? So we're going to talk about all these subjects and more with somebody that is joining us all the way from Eastern Europe. His name is Nedko Nedkov. And besides only having one letter difference in his first and last name, which we'll get into real quickly, I would like to introduce Nedko to the show. And Nedko, please give us kind of a 100-word or less bio about yourself.
Hi, Mark. Thank you for having me on the show. All right. So I'm web entrepreneur since my teenage years, and I've been outsourcing for search engines rankings at first, like 10, 12 years ago. We had an agency for SEO and marketing. And over the years, I started to get more involved into paid advertising. I was co-founder in small contextual network, and over time I really started to get more passion around advertising and startups, and that's how we started our first project, Brandvertiser, first startup, which is websites advertising marketplace. And over the years we were learning, and in 2020 we were stuck at home as the whole world, and stuck at home, and that's when actually I've been listening way more on podcasts, and it started to become like a great medium for me, very interesting. And at some point we decided to pivot our main project and we built Podvertiser with Z.com, which became like our really focus for 2020, and it was like really great, and we're starting to feel like momentum, product market fit.
Okay. So yeah, what better medium than podcasts while we're all at home, or most of us are at home, especially in our line of work, and it's so easy to do. I mean, I'm talking to you from Bulgaria and I'm in San Diego. So it's kind of the perfect medium for marketers if you know how to use it well, and that's the big question mark that we're going to get into now. Nedko, about that name of yours. So how did you? Was this something that your parents did on purpose, or how does that work?
All right. So it's a tradition in Bulgaria, actually, like grandchild to be named after the grandfather, especially the first kids, if it's a boy, after the grandfather, if it's a girl, after the grandmother. And actually, my grandfather name is Nedko as well, but we put OV as family name. So that's how it became Nedko Milyanov Nedkov. Like my father is Milyan, but my grandfather is Nedkov. And so I started a new family line, let's say, you can say it this way. And,
got it. Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense. I thought maybe you were going for like the one, you know how celebrities are referred to by just the first name.
Oh, no, it's a coincidence of my parents.
Okay.
And my grandparents loved me much and helped us over the years. So yeah, maybe that's all.
Okay, so let's jump right in. So,
all right.
Let's say somebody listening to this either wants to, reach influencers on their podcast, or advertise on podcasts if they're a brand on an influencer's podcast. What is it that you do, and how do you do it?
All right. So what we're building is a peer-to-peer podcast sponsorships marketplace, where it's mostly for host read ads. So we connect brands and influencer marketing agencies with most relevant podcasts based on like contextual right now, and we are working on when we are onboarding podcasts with their audience and downloads details and all this.
Well,
And
before you move on, how do you do that? Is it an AI technology or is it manual?
so it's machine learning right now mostly, and we are working on AI and to build like algorithm. Right now it's mostly based on search engine matching and on categories.
So you've categorized all the podcasts that are out there. Is that what you've done?
Yeah, those are we've aggregated like the most popular 20,000 podcasts, and they're all categorized. And then we also added on that our machine learning model, where we have like search engine which searches between titles, descriptions, and more tags that we work on, because some podcasts need more context added and all this. And right now it's sorting them based on search and on category. And then we are working on filtering part, which is going to help you on a secondary level to filter those the results that you get from the search or category into filtering by downloads and by audience details, and pricing at some point when we onboard enough podcasts, direct relations.
Okay, so you do a lot. So what's the peer-to-peer advertising aspect of this?
Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, we are more focused not so much on programmatic advertising, like like ads that stop in the middle of the podcast and start advertising, but we are more focused on host read ads, where we meet, and you can say meet because we are peer-to-peer, and we are really believing into like open infrastructures and direct communication between the podcast host or the agency that represents the podcast and the brand, and we really connect the both sides to communicate directly. They should be already offers from the podcast, but also they can make a custom offer for the advertiser after discussion. They have like a direct messaging system in the marketplace, and then we support with the escrow of the sale and with feedback on the sale after on the delivery of the podcast. I mean how to explain? Yeah, we do the escrow part where once the podcast is written and uploaded, when you share the link with the advertiser, then the money unlocks, and both sides are happy because they receive the products easily. And that the thing is, peer-to-peer works best for you can say it like probably Fiverr. So we're trying to build like Fiverr for podcasts, where we connect the both sides and really let them do as they want.
So you probably looked at Matchmaker.fm. Is it's different than that?
Yeah, it's different. Matchmaker is more like for interviews, and it's really matching both sides. Also, another one is Podit.net is also a great one. Those are more like for finding guests and finding podcasts to participate with us. It's more like you're looking for sponsorship, maybe paid interviews will be an option. It really depends on the podcast, because he can list any kind of offer really, from the regular pre-roll, mid-roll, and post-roll to sponsorship and to whatever. And it's much better as a podcast. Your audience is way more loyal and interested to you and to what you have to say. And if you vouch for some product or a brand or whatever, there will be way more trust and interest for the audience to check it out, instead if it's a commercial. So that is what we are focusing on, to have the podcast really engage with his audience and to do directly the sponsorship reading or implement it as he decides into the podcast. Okay,
so now that we got that covered, I want to talk about other ways that podcasters like myself and other, let's say, brands or marketers that want to collaborate with podcasts, what other strategies or tactics do you recommend people do?
Sure. So I believe there is a emerging trend. As on the publisher side, there are more podcasts growing. Same time, a lot of brands start to understand and they listen probably themselves, but also they start to understand how great and loyal audience is on the podcast. So they also start to build on their side like brand ambassador programs. Usually it's like some pre-created creative or content which the influencer, the podcasts can really join with them and share to its audience, and they earn like commission based. And this is really a great model because it's a win-win for both sides, and it's really not engaging too much time and too much time for the podcast to figure out like content, creative, and all this, because it's all ready. And in the same time, the brand can work with much wider audience with more podcasts, which it wouldn't be able to afford if they had to do direct advertising. So I believe this is a great model for both sides. Also, I think that there are some affiliate networks out there that may accept influencers marketing, and those influencers friendly affiliate networks, they also accept, they also should not have a problem to accept like different podcasts. That's another thing that can work also. And pretty much that's the level that I think is the best model right now. Also another thing that can work is there are a lot of Facebook groups that match podcasts to brands. Like you can search in Google influencers to brands matching, and a lot of them are talking mostly about Instagram influencers. But when they hear about, like ask them what do you think about podcasts medium, and they're like, oh, tell me more, it sounds interesting. So that's another thing to think where the influencers marketing, like Instagrammers and all those, are already presented, and to try to cover there and to be there for the podcast. Same time for brands, it's the opposite, to start implementing like their strategy that they already use for influencers marketing. Like they use different tools like Ninja Outreach, BuzzSumo, and all those to automate outreaching to Instagram influencers. But there are not so many such tools for podcasts right now. So you need to be a little bit more creative yet, and that's why we are working on that part to onboard as many podcasters so we can match the both sides really. And that is another thing that the brands can start working on. I believe will be very helpful with outreaching process and campaigns, and they can literally sort, like with Podvertiser with us, they can sort like the most famous few hundred podcasts per category. And then of course it needs some more manual time to verify, to browse through those profiles and to figure out like which few tens of them make most sense for your brand. And then you can literally have to outreach them. That's the hard part about podcasts, because it's very decentralized medium. So it's not only, you never know if they use like websites or email or Twitter. So that's something that takes a little bit more time, and we turn that into a service for brands also. And it's like you have to outreach on like the most popular podcasts. You need to outreach them at least on 2 channels, like email and website maybe, or Facebook and Twitter or email, to make sure they hear you, because a lot of them like have maybe sometimes an agency to represent them and all this. So you need to gather at least 2 touch points with them. And then based on like you have to research more on the engagement of the audience and to see rankings. That's another thing that is good to do, cross-match rankings from at Apple, at Stitcher, and different apps, at Chartable. And then at Chartable, you can even see rankings and how they go up and down, and .com. And then you cross-match those details. And also if you see their, let's say on even just 20 podcasts, episodes, if you start to see emerging reviews, it means that the content is very interesting to the audience. So those are the podcasts that have both reviews and episodes growth over time. Those are the best ones to outreach. And if it's 20 to 50 episodes and have 10 reviews or something like this, it's great to outreach, because those are mid-size big ones podcasts, and those are the best ones to start working on. Because I believe the influencers marketing at the whole and podcasts marketing is same, is PR campaign. It's better to do it to do long-term campaign, which is few months maybe campaign, where you build up with few podcasts per week and build up, because you learn a lot more about what content converts and all these details, and you can build much better content over time, and to build much better momentum with less investment, with smaller podcasts, and then to grow up to the bigger ones. And the thing about this, you need to customize a little bit more about the tracking with the podcasts. So maybe here you give me also idea what will be the best model will be with coupon code, maybe when vouching for some brand.
Yeah.
Or another way we figure out over time was custom domain, because it's very hard to but maybe the coupon code makes more sense to be able to track performance and or ROI. And another thing is to make social campaigns on multi-channel. If you make let's say some campaign for winter season or for some specific moment, you can make a multi-channel campaign where you share it on social networks, but you also do the podcasters and bring the podcast audience to the social channels to participate, share, or whatever. And this way you can make a much better social presence with covered by the podcast. So it's really to cross-match and to build A/B testing for a few months, really. Not to split the whole, not to blow the whole budget in a week period or something. It's better to split it with smaller podcasters, with smaller influencers, so with micro-influencers, micro-podcasts, and then you can learn so much more.
And, when you compare it to something like video or other forms of marketing,
all right,
why should people care about podcasts?
All right. So I think the podcast is way more personal, not communication, but you can also almost say it as a communication both sides, because it's the listeners are so much more interested to listen to the podcasts episode after episode, while when you do with video, you literally search in YouTube and you for a few minutes, you watch for a few minutes at the most, and then you leave or watch another video. While on the podcast, you're really focused for 30 minutes and more. So I believe the CPM thing here in the podcast should not be compared to the CPM in website at all. Even in Instagram, it's nice pictures which make a lot of CPM, but really engagement is really low, and there is no loyalty on the audience. It's really just likes and That's all. While on the podcast is really very interested audience into what the podcaster has to say. So they really follow up with his vouching for brand and for some campaign. It could be way more personal, I believe.
Okay, and then I get that. It's the only problem I have with podcasts, and obviously I run one, is it's harder to click on something unless you're at the show notes. You can remember and people can repeat your website over and over again, but I think, from my perspective, it's a harder conversion, but it's a better branding opportunity, and it allows people to get to know you better,
absolutely.
Especially if you're consistent.
It's like brand awareness, but on a personal level, you can say it this way. And also you can, if you make like campaign based, you can really use a custom domain or something to make it more. But maybe the best way will be also to cross match, or how to say, like make a campaign, like easy to remember about campaign, which is on Facebook, and promote it on the podcasts. So you make a viral campaign this way, instead of just saying the domain, and then it really depends on the product. If it's a B2C product, then it's better to make more social campaigns and to make more brand awareness. But if it's let's say informative product like software or something, then it's probably better to use a coupon code and like different kind of trial campaigns.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And so we've covered a lot with the podcast, especially as it pertains to marketers and how you take advantage of them. Is there, anything else that you like about podcasts that make it a better either advertising or marketing medium or channel in your eyes?
All right. So I think it's the best thing around podcasts is, first, it's really personal and engaging the audience in a much different way, as we talked. And the second thing is really it's emerging medium. So it really will be growing over the time. Like I'm looking at the eMarketer and IAP prognosis, and it's like growing like 20-30% per year on listening hours, even not just on listeners. And I believe this will be really growing up, and they're like 800,000, if I'm not wrong, maybe 1 million active podcasts right now, and they'll be just growing because they're like 30 million YouTube channels. So they have to grow way more with the podcasts, and let's say the monetization works mostly for the first 10 to 20,000 at the max. So there is a lot of opportunities from small businesses to bigger brands, really to match with podcasts and to build win-win partnerships and commissions, or giveaways, campaigns, or of course on a fixed budget.
Excellent. All right. Well, we are going to wrap things up, Nedko, but before we do, we always have two questions. The first one is, what is the hottest digital marketing technology that you are recommending your clients, friends, family?
So that's a good question. Let's say I believe that the technology that is most underestimated, even by small business, because they think it's too complicated, is really micro-influencers at the whole, let's say, like even Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and TikTok even, and podcasts. Because I believe the main thing about small business is that they don't produce enough content, so they can start building enough quality content, and to communicate it properly, through the social networks, through podcasts participation, because this is something that you can do almost freely, and it can really bring you a lot more brand awareness, and to show your understanding, to show who you are, and the clients will find your own. So I think this is the main thing with micro influencers and to build more content.
Okay. And what our second question usually is, and we're going to stick with it, is who is the most influential person in marketing today?
All right. So I suppose the most famous answer is with Gary Vee. For me, it's really interesting. It's like my marketing idol, you can say, is Seth Godin. I really like his daily newsletter, and I'm reading that. And so those are like the most famous ones, I can say, for me.
Yeah, I mean, those are two of the standards.
Yeah.
Gary's more in the weeds, which is why I like him a little bit better. Seth is more strategic, but both combined, they're good. All right, well, we are going to wrap things up. But before we do, where can people find you? And by the way, go check out Podvertiser, spelled PODVERTIZER.com. And you can check out his peer podcast sponsorship marketplace. But other than that, where do people find you online?
Yeah, thank you. And as Podvertiser, and then you can also find me on LinkedIn, Nedko Nedkov, on Twitter. And by name you can find me, Nedko Nedkov.
All right.